morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at all of the secret rares from Infinity Zone. Now, I know the rarities have different designations, etc. Calling them secret rares, you all know what I mean. And to be fair, these will all have a numbering above the last card in the set when they come over here. So I feel totally justified using that terminology. And we might as well start off with the Rainbow Rare V-Maxes because they're shiny. I mean, all these cards are shiny, to be fair, but we've got to start somewhere. Now, Eternities V-Max is really one of the two most important cards in the set. It's got an ability which lets you have 8 bench Pokemon as long as they're all darkness. It is literally Skyfield. And then an attack that does 30 damage for each darkness Pokemon that you have in play. This has the potential to absolutely change up the format. I can't say that it will, but I can say it's got a good chance, and the Rainbow Rare is the shiniest, nicest version of it. Should say a massive shout out to the wonderful, lovely Primal Lugia over at PokeGuardian.com for hooking us up with the images. Now, my personal favourite of the V-Maxes is Salamence V-Max, which we can see as a lovely rainbow version here. Salamence, for a single colourless energy, does 40 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, which is pretty good, especially when we combine it with the V, which we'll see in a minute. Free energy, 240, and you can't use that attack next turn. It's nice as a kind of a backup big attack, but it's the first attack I really like Salamence for. Look how shiny it is. And yes, I know that the Rainbow Rares here do seem to just be Rainbow Rare versions of the main art. I'm kind of cool with that, if I'm honest with you. I am totally okay with this. I have no big complaints. Scizor V Max, I call the most difficult Pokemon to KO, and I stand by it. The Rainbow Rare is, of course, on the screen. Free energy 190 is fine, but 2 energy 90 damage, and next turn it takes 30 less from attacks. That is what I'm getting excited about, because it's a metal Pokemon, right? You start combining it with stuff like Metal Frying Pan and Lucario and Melmetal, and you end up with a Pokemon that takes 90 less damage from attacks, and has no weakness with a starting HP of 320, and you got a Pokemon which is just going to be very, very difficult to take down. And the final Rainbow Rare V-Max we need to look at is Dreadnought. Now, I'll be honest with you, right? Dreadnought, I completely forgot what this did when I was making the video. The other V-Maxes stayed with me way more than Dreadnought did. The ability says it takes 30 less damage from attacks, and the attack for free energy does 160, but 240 on a heads. Now, with Glimwood Tangle allowing you to reflip a coin if you don't flip heads, you've got a 75% chance of hitting 240, and 240 for free energy is fine. It's alright. If Frostmoth decks become popular, I can see this being a really good partner for it, but it's not striking me as some kind of powerhouse Pokemon. So all of the V-Maxes get Rainbow Rares, but I should probably show you all 8 of the Pokemon V as well. And we might have to go at a bit of a clip here, just to make sure we get through them all. Now, Crobat V is definitely the most exciting of them generally. Crobat V's ability is literally Shaman's ability, though it is limited to once during your turn. So you can play multiple Crobats, but only one of the abilities will fire. The rest of them won't. The ability, 70 damage plus poison for 2 energy, is fine. It's nothing terribly special. You're not playing Crobat for the attack. You're playing it for the ability. And it is a phenomenal ability. And of course, the full art version of it is going to be the most sought after, fanciest version. Now, my personal favourite of the Pokemon Vs is Houndoom. You can see the lovely full art on the screen. I might start pointing out that the full art is on the screen because you can kind of see it, what with it, being on the screen. Now, 1 energy, 20 damage plus burn is fine in an emergency. But free energy, 100 damage, but raising to 200 if any of your benched fire Pokemon have damage counters on them. The good news is we are getting Spikemuth Stadium, which will put 2 damage counters on any Pokemon that goes to the bench. And then with Welder to attach 2 energy, we could legitimately be looking at a going second turn 1 200 damage fairly reliably, if built correctly. And I don't know about you, right, but generally speaking, this is looking pretty good. Now, the other one I'm really excited about is Salamence, and again, it's a Welder thing. Salamence, for free colorless energy, does free damage to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So you Welder 2 energy on, you attach a third from hand, and then boom, 30 to everything. Puts your opponent on a clock, and it will be very difficult for them to come back from. The 4 energy 160 is fine. The V-Max is obviously far better here, but it's alright as a bigger attack. It's just very much not the reason to play the card. Now, Dreadnought V is coming in here as well, and it's got the ability we saw on the V-Max, takes 30 less from attacks, and for free energy it does 130 and stops the defending Pokemon retreating. I don't think it's a powerhouse, but it seems fine. Galarian Colossal V, now this one's a fun one. If it's in the active and your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, you put free damage counters on that Pokemon. I really like this, but if we take a look at, for instance, Arctozolt from the same set, Arctozolt only puts 2 damage counters on when your opponent attaches an energy, but it's a single prize Pokemon and it works from the bench, so I'm kind of loving it. As for the attack, 60 damage for 2 energy, and you place 3 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like is fine, but I think this is better for the ability. Although I suppose dropping damage around here, there, and everywhere could be a lot of fun. Rhyperior V, generally speaking, is impressive because it's massive. You've got 230 HP, which is high, free energy, 80 damage, and discarded energy from the defending Pokemon, or 4 energy, 210, though this Pokemon cannot use this attack next turn. It might be too expensive in the long run as a fighting Pokemon, though the colourless energy does open up stuff like triple acceleration energy, but the fact is you've got another one of those Pokemon with giant HP and really powerful attacks. You need to keep an eye on these, they could end up being really good. Scizor V, now again I think Scizor V is very much a conduit to the V-Max, not great on its own, really good with the V-Max. Free energy 140 is fine, but 1 metal energy 30 damage, and discard all Pokemon tools and special energy attached to the defending Pokemon. That I really like, because you can completely wreck someone's setup by getting rid of all their special energy and tools. Oh yeah, and we've got Eternities V coming as well. Although again, Eternities V I like more as a conduit for V-Max than I do on its own. 1 colourless energy, 30 damage, and you may attach a darkness energy from your discard pile to one of your bench. Fine, not terribly inspiring. 4 energy, 120 damage, but 240 against a V-Max. Sounds really good, but it's not actually able to KO any V-Maxes, because they start with stuff like Morpeko at 300 HP, so you're not even getting all that close, and that does make me, a little bit nervous, but then the V-Max is redonk, so I don't think we need to worry too much. Now, in terms of supporters, there are 2 supporters in the set that have got the treatment as both a full art and a rainbow rare. So if we take a look at Piers, we've got the regular art here, here is the full art, here is the rainbow rare, and obviously here the rainbow rare and the full art are the same art, just different versions of them. Piers, as a card, search your deck for a darkness Pokemon and an energy and put them into your hand. And if it wasn't for Crobat V, I wouldn't be loving this. But we do have Crobat V, so I am loving it. You see, Crobat V is amazing, and this lets you search for any energy. It does not have to be a basic. So when you're letting me search out a special energy and then a Crobat to draw a bunch of cards, I am in, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the other one is Rose. The regular art is on the screen. Here's the full art. Here's the rainbow rare. This one is a bit more specialized. You attach up to 2 basic energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V-Max, and then you have to discard your entire hand, which sounds really bad, But in the same set, we're also getting Rose Tower, which is a stadium card that does what Oran Guru used to do. You can draw until you've got 3 cards in your hand. So clearly here, what you're supposed to be doing is using Rose when there's a Rose Tower in play. So yes, you discard your hand, but then you draw 3 cards straight away, and it kind of evens out. And then we end up with some gold cards. Now, we are getting a gold version of Turbo Patch. Now, Turbo Patch is a fairly controversial card that some people love and some people hate. Turbo Patch says, flip a coin. If heads, attach a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your non-GX Pokemon. Oh. That's really good. But it's not a coin flip. And some people really don't like this because it takes a bit of skill awareness on a coin flip, etc. I do not feel quite so bad about it. I am totally okay with this. The other one we're getting is a gold version of Capture Energy, which is actually a card which is already out. It came around in Rebel Clash. It's a colorless energy, but when you attach it to a Pokemon, you get to search your deck for a basic and put it onto your bench. Really nice if you want to get all your basics out. And then, like with every set, you get an older Pokemon reprinted as a gold, and here it is, Colossal. We're getting a gold Colossal. That's the one with a really nice ability that lets you attach a fire energy and a fighting energy from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. Really good in fighting decks. Fire decks have Wilder, so they don't care so much. Fighting decks don't have much energy acceleration. This is about as good as it gets for them. Nice to have it as a gold card. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all of the secret rares. One more shout out to the lovely Primal Lugia for being awesome and helping me get the images together. Lovely dude. So much time there. So now it's over to you guys. I want to know which cards of these you like, which ones you think look really cool, which ones you're going to be going out to buy, and which ones you'd rather just make do with the regular art. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WasiPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.